Hello and welcome to Dixie's Storytime world. Are you ready to listen to The Princess and the He? Once there was a princess called Jules. She had all she wanted, except for one thing. Princess Jules did not have a real prince, so she could live happily ever after. He had to look like a film star, cook like a chef, and dance like a dream. Above all, her prince had to say nice things to her, no matter what. But where would she find him? And how would she know if he was a real prince or not? Put a message on the internet, said King Flash. Then invite them to the castle, said Queen Glitter. But whatever they tell you, make them prove it. Princess Jules sent out a message on her computer. Wanted a real prince for a real princess. She curled up with her book and waited for the doorbell to ring. Chapter 2. The first prince was called Desmond. He said he was a brilliant cook. Princess Jules remembered her mother's warning. Make me something delicious, she demanded. Prince Desmond shook like a jelly. Sorry, he muttered. I just remembered I'm late for something. And he ran off. Later, Princess Jules found out that Desmond worked as a waiter and wasn't a real prince at all. The next prince said he was a dancing champion. But when Princess Jules put on some music, he stepped on her foot and nearly broke her toe. So she said goodbye to him too. Just then a helicopter landed outside. Princess Jules looked through the window. A gorgeous prince was waving at her. A minute later, Prince Ferdinand danced through the door holding a silver tray. On it was an ice cream sundae and a silver spoon. Princess Jules was delighted. She had found her real prince at last. But as she picked up the spoon, Prince Ferdinand picked up her book with a frown. What's wrong? Asked Princess Jules. I don't like princesses who read, said the prince. They think they are so smart. Then I suggest you buzz off, said Princess Jules. Real princes don't talk like that. Poor Princess Jules was fed up. I'll never find a real prince, she sighed. 2 fat tears rolled down her face. Chapter 3. It was a stormy night. Thunder and lightning crashed and flashed around the castle. Queen Glitter made hamburgers and they sat down to watch a film called The Pirate Princess. But Princess Jules was miserable. I'm going to bed, she sniffed, and I'm not getting up in the morning. Don't be silly, said King Flash. Everything will be okay. No, it won't, replied Princess Jules sadly. Around midnight, a banging noise filled the castle. Wake up, cried Queen Glitter. Someone's at the door. A moment later, the king and queen were standing in the front hall. They were staring at a young man who looked like he'd been through a washing machine. Who are you? Asked King Flash. I don't know, said the young man. I slipped in the mud and hit my head on a rock. He rubbed his ear. I don't remember anything. I think he's a tramp, whispered Queen Glitter. But King Flash felt sorry for the stranger. You can spend the night with us, he said. The young man bowed. Thank you, he said. That's very kind. There was something about the way he bowed. Queen Glitter changed her mind. Maybe he wasn't a tramp after all. Leave this to me, she said. Queen Glitter led the stranger to their best bedroom. It had a 4-poster bed with 4 mattresses piled on top of each other. When the young man wasn't looking, she put a pearl earring under the 3rd mattress. Chapter 4. The next morning, the young man was so stiff he could hardly move. As he tried to get out of bed, he fell. Whack! His head hit the floor and his memory came back. He was called Prince George, and he had come to find a real princess. Then his Rolls-Royce had broken down, so he had started to walk, slipped in the mud and hit his head. But who was going to believe him? There was a knock at the door. Queen Glitter and King Flash appeared. How did you sleep? Asked the Queen. Prince George went pink. He knew it was wrong to lie. Badly, he said, but let me introduce myself. My name is Prince George, and I'm here to meet your daughter. Queen Glitter looked at King Flash. How badly did you sleep? She asked. Very badly, replied Prince George. I'm black and blue all over. The king and queen were delighted. They gave the prince clean clothes and led him downstairs. Chapter 5. Princess Jules was in the kitchen when the door opened. This is Prince George, said Queen Glitter, smiling. He wants to cook you breakfast. 5 minutes later, Princess Jules was eating boiled eggs with runny yolks just the way she liked them. What's more, Prince George was completely gorgeous. Princess Jules sat back. Why are you here? She asked. So Prince George explained he was looking for a real princess, someone who loved watching films, eating good food, and dancing at parties. Above all, he wanted someone who said nice things, no matter what. Princess Jules was perfect. Everything Prince George said sounded true, but Princess Jules had to be sure. Can you prove you're a real prince? She asked. Of course he's a real prince, shouted Queen Glitter, who had been listening at the door. Last night I put a pearl earring under 3 mattresses. This morning he woke up black and blue all over. Only a real prince is that sensitive, said King Glitter. It was a dream come true. Princess Jules jumped up and threw her arms around Prince George. You're the one for me, she cried. Prince George held her tight. And you're the one for me. Princess Jules and Prince George were married at once. It was a wonderful wedding. The food was delicious and everyone danced all night. And, of course, they lived happily ever after, because they always said nice things to each other, no matter what. The end. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye for now.